So, gunk washing miniatures. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's basically using oil paints, such as these $2 shop ones, or this larger pot I got before I noticed the $2 shop ones, on a miniature model kit diorama that you've painted to add weathering and shading effects on it. The first step is to paint your miniature, obviously. This is an ironclad wreck marker that is now superfluous, so I've turned it into my bunker objective for Mark III. And then you gloss coat. I've used Liquitex Professional Ultra High Gloss Finish Varnish, whatever that is. I find it's the best gloss varnish I've been able to find to use, and it works super shiny. Then you pick your oil paints. You slap them on the miniature. So for today I'm going to be using some Phthalo Blue and Burnt Umber on this guy. So I will skip ahead to when I've got those in the palette and ready for you. Okay, so if the light will actually show it, or if my camera will focus on it, there we go. I've got some Phthalo Blue and some Burnt Umber just in the palette here. So literally what you do is get on your brush. This is one of my oldest, scraggliest brushes around, and you slap it on the model. Now, I'll see how this looks after we're done, and we will, of course, fast forward this section to make sure you guys don't get bored. Okay, so we're done applying the Phthalo Blue to this guy. Oils stretch really fast, so I've, of course, put way too much in my palette. If I don't like this shade, I will mix the two of these together to actually get the effect I want, but it looks like I'll probably get what I want out of this. Next, you literally get $2 store cotton buds, and you wipe it off. You wipe off most of the excess. This is somewhat similar to using oil washers, but I find you get way more control out of this and a better effect in general as well. So if it's focused, I need to get better lighting for if I'm going to do videos. So I literally wipe where gravity would really take grime and muck off, because this guy's supposed to be lying down in the ground a bit. I wipe down with gravity. Down. And so you can see across that little section on his crotch area, I've actually managed to sprinkle some of the blue across. That's absolutely fine, because what I can do after this is get some thinner, some just plain old odorless thinner, odorless, not low odor, from the art store, and just wipe it off with that. But because I'm not too worried about anywhere else for now, we will fast forward to when I'm done. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm going to try and clean up some of what happened on this area right here, and what's also happened on this molded cygnus on the front. Oop, on this molded cygnus on the front. The camera will focus, there we go. So I'm going to literally get my pot of odorless. I've used low odor terps before, and you literally can't use that inside without gassing out the whole house. Dunk it in. I'm using one of my sharp-ended Q-tips. These, I believe, I used for makeup. You just wipe it away. Doesn't matter if it gets on the rest of the paint, because where the rest of the blue is, it's absolutely fine for it to be. Because if it gets drained off, it's just going to sink into those crevices. One of the things I didn't really expect, and I'm very happy with, and might actually use on just more miniatures I paint in general, is that it's made my blue look a lot more rich, which probably isn't showing up great on the camera, but it's made it look like a nicer shade of blue, which is A-okay in my books. Across the grill here. Yeah, there we go. I'm not too fussed about getting literally everything out of the crevices. It's mainly those raised edges I don't want bluish, because those are going to be brownish in a minute. And yeah, some over. Oh wow, I'm bad at keeping this in shot. Mainly what I'm trying to show you guys here is the finished product. So if this video is looking rubbish, that's totally why. So I'm just going to wipe off the excess of the oil over here, off my brush. My phone is not enjoying focusing. Ha ha ha! There you go. So, close up this so it doesn't dry out in my Australian summer. Then I get this brush back into the burnt umber over here. Now, because I'm going to be using it on a bluish model regardless, I'm not even remotely bothered about cleaning off the brush. And like I said earlier, getting the oil paints mixed up in the same... Did I say that earlier? Even if I didn't, getting these two oil paints mixed up in the same spot isn't too bad. I could have in theory just used the burnt umber across the whole model, but I wanted to show for you guys an experiment with something new. So here we go. We're all learning together. Fast forward. And we're done. So, I've got all of that crud everywhere. Keep it in shot. What I'm going to do is get some more cotton buds, and I'm going to wipe with gravity. What I've also got off screen is a t-shirt. Old crummy t-shirt, which works really well on Gundams and maybe other model kits. So let's see how it goes here. Yeah, actually, I like that. So if you can use an old t-shirt, wipe with a gentle motion downwards, or a little upwards if that's the only angle you can get it in at. I generally prefer downwards because it creates a better accumulation towards the base of where you need it to be. These t-shirts work great because that means you're not spending $1 billion on cotton buds. That's Australian. I don't know how much they are in America. I'm assuming slightly less. Or even in the UK. And fast forwarding to when we're done. And we're back and we're done. What I've done since I did the jump cut is I added some extra burnt umber to the rocks and all the basing around, make them kind of look washed out and crappy, and, you know, wiped off all the other excess. I used some of my t-shirts, some of 15 cotton buds or so, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out, in all honesty. It's, you know, burnished the gold a bit better and really enriched the blue, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm very happy about that. So that's basically how gunk washes work on your miniatures. I find them to be certainly more fun to use than oil washes and more controlled. I'll show you a butcher. So this is Butcher 3 I've been working on for commission. He's been gunk washed and a bit of oil washing. His cloak was oil washed, let's point out. So I used burnt umber across all the red pieces, and some black on all the metal, and oil wash up on the metals up here, which did turn out pretty well. I used some thinner to wipe it off afterwards, and, you know, some black down here before washing, before dry brushing rather. So yeah, just some normal oil wash on here, very heavy washing over here, and on the back, if I can turn them around without dropping in, I used a combination of oil washes and gunk washing. So I really like how the gunk wash looks on big, larger things like this. So big, larger things like this, I think it's really given the boiler a nice sooty look, which will be further enhanced with some pigments I plan to add in a few moments. And you can see that the gunk washing across all the red pieces has really added a nice streaking effect across, and it just really beaten him up. Not necessarily streaking, but certainly it looked dirty, and that's exactly what I was aiming for. And the client is apparently very happy with him, and by apparently I mean extremely. So next I'll be using these same methods on... Next I'll be using these same methods on this diorama, which I can't even quite get in shot. Yeah, the diorama base that came with the Butcher War Machine 10th anniversary diorama base. There, I got it. Next I'll be using these techniques on the War Machine 10th anniversary diorama base. This is the whole thing. Once these oils are dry, once the gloss is dried, and ooh, it has. I'll be doing that off camera then. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and for any further updates, check out the Facebook page. See you later. Hi, me again, just quickly dropping in at the end of that last section to just actually explain why I use the gloss varnish. Two reasons. One, it makes it significantly easier to wipe everything off after you're done. So if you were using a matte varnish, you would have a much harder time actually cleaning off any of the oil paints with the Q-tip or the t-shirt or the sock or the glove or the I don't know, paper towel if that's all you have lying around. And a gloss varnish is, better at protecting your acrylic paints underneath. The solvents, the linseed oil in oil paints, I've been told, don't take me as gospel, I've been told can eat through acrylic paints, so to avoid even remotely risking that, do a nice solid gloss varnish before you use any oils or anything relating to oils. Alright, I'm gone. Stay lovely. Have a good one.